starting the record. So, hello. This meeting is recorded, so we'll start. The recording is started. I have first an announcement that in November there will be no Zoom meetings on the Saturday evening and the Sunday morning. But there will be on the 19 and 20 November, there will be an intensive. So there's a whole afternoon from a whole afternoon from 6, 7 hours, something like that. So that will be a good weekend. So if you want to join, please send me an email, and you can on my website you can pay for the weekend, and then I will send you the link for that day. So you can go to the website and you see all the information about how the weekend is planned. There's also a live weekend in Amsterdam that is for everybody, so it will be in English and there will be some Dutch too. It depends on which people are coming. So that's December 3 and 4. So you're very welcome to come to Amsterdam and we see each other in person. That would be nice. Okay, so this is meeting about non-duality. Non-duality. What is non-duality? Non-duality is not two, not two. There's only one. There's only one. What does that mean? And it doesn't mean anything. It's just saying there's only one. And we are so used to see that there's a person inside us, and there's the whole world or other persons. So we always think in two. And when there's two, there's also good and bad. And when there's good and bad, there's the whole story about wanting to feel good and moving away from pain. And then the whole problems and suffering is starting. But that's so the normal way. The normal way is so that I'm here and I have to make my life work. I'm responsible. How can I deal with everything? And the questions are in their thoughts questioning. And that seems to be there's an answer, trying to find an answer in the story. There are no answers. And that's crazy. We are so busy with trying to find answers to make your life work, to do the right thing, to find what you long for, to make that happen. And there's always something going on. There's me. Maybe there's somewhere seen that there's no me, but suddenly there's still something going on, like how can I do something, or how can I not do, or how do I deal with that? There's already no one. Everything is empty. It seems like everything is solid and real. And that's so convincing. So when that's seen like that, then also the whole world seems very real and very solid. And we have to deal with that. We think we have to deal with that. And then there's this message saying there's no world. It's very literally, there's no one. And nothing is real. Nothing is real. That means it's an appearance. It's not saying there is nothing, only nothing. It's nothing and apparently everything. And apparently everything is that everything is an appearance. It's energy, you could say, but it's seen like a table or a body. But there's nothing inside. So it's going nowhere. Life is going nowhere. It's very simple. It's just what is. There's nothing dealing with anything. There's nothing going. There's no one. So there's no decisions. So there's also no growth or development. We are so capable of abstracting by the brain can abstract. And that's so the normal way of thinking and believing and having concepts about how the world is there, how you are there, how everything is going. This is about the loss of everything. And it's not only everything in the world, it's also that identity, what you seems to have, that I'm someone and I lived my life and this was happening and I have to do that and that. I have my mother and children maybe. And then this message is saying there's no identity. It's the loss of the identity. That's strange because that seems to be the only thing you have. Like I have my identity, this is my life. Maybe this is my thought or my feeling. And then there's this message like, oh, nothing, nothing is yours. It's not mine. It's what it is. And there can be feelings. Feelings don't happen in the body. They just happen somewhere. It's an energy that can arise. Like thoughts can arise, but it's for no one. It can be thoughts, it can be tables. Life isn't seeing someone, so it's not interested in you or me. It's what is. So it's seeing tables and it's energy, like tables and rows and other maybe other bodies. It's very literally. We are so used to make concepts and to believe that there's something happening, there's behind and before, there's time. And time is very much like, oh, there was a past, I did a lot of things in my past, in my life, and now I'm here and I'm looking for something. When there's no one, there's also no time. There's only this. That's one. That's not two. That's about that non-duality. It's one. There's only one. There's no time, no development, no before, no after. That can be huge because we're so used to development. And when there's no development, there's only what's happening. It's going nowhere. It is. And it can be a feeling, it can be anything. And there's no escape. That's what's happening. And that whole me structure, like a surviving, when there seems to be a me, there's developing something, a survival system, because there's a, feels like a loss. There's something gone wrong. There's something not right anymore. I'm missing something. So there's a huge energy going, a drive to find what's missing. And when there's me going and everything seems real, it's it's looking in the story, looking for a good man or woman, looking for money or power, looking for no me. It's always looking for something because everything is something. So we look for something, and then there's this message saying, no, there's not something. Nothing is real. But that can be confusing because we are so convinced that everything is real. So we're looking for something of that is happening on an experience. It's not an experience. It's what is. It can be a sensation somewhere. Maybe you don't know what it is. Then that's what's happening. It doesn't matter. This is not about knowing. Also, there can be some knowing and understanding. There can't be a me because, and then there's an explaining how that is going and why you're sure that there's no me and there can't be a me. This is not about being sure or about knowing in that sense. There's no knowing. There's nothing sure or not sure. There's no doubt. There's not also being sure. It's only what is. And that can be feeling or sitting or table. Very, very literally and simple and exactly what it is. And there's no outside. This where the room where we're sitting, where you're sitting, where I'm sitting. That's it. That's everything. There's no outside. And then there's that whole construct of me and feeling there's, or thinking there's a room, there's something going on outside, there's a world, there's other people, and we have to deal, and how can I do that? That's the dream of me. It's very convincing. It's not wrong. Nothing is wrong. Of course, it's what it is. It can't be wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is right either. That's the other thing. It's not about right and wrong. It's about what is. So when there are a lot of thoughts, it's not wrong. It's just a lot of thoughts. That's life. Thoughting can be like that. But there can be a huge belief in that what's going on. And very obsessed by that. Then that's what's happening. It's not you doing that. It's what's happening. It's life. There's no one. There's already no one. So when that's really obsessed, then life is obsessed. That's it. So it's very simple, very tiny, very direct and intimate. What is? And that's already what's going on. So nothing to look for. No need for answers because it's already complete, like it is. So we can talk about this and maybe there are questions or some maybe you want to share. And you can unmute yourself if you want to say something. We talk or we don't say anything.
Hello, Rose.
Hello, hi.
Hello, hi. I yesterday I went to with a family member to funeral, to a funeral, and it was okay, but he was very angry at me and pushing me, saying that I have problem. And I still yesterday uh, interpret psychologically his reaction. I take it personal. Like I still, so I'm thinking as I am a me, an individual, and is it is it hearing? You're okay with hearing me? You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. So he was very angry at me, and I interpret that because he said that I'm always talking about my health, my problem health. So I interpret as a person that I have responsibility about that. And I interpret that I'm talking to him about my health because, so I think cause and effect, because he's always pushing me to do what he wants. He wants me to do interviews, to help other people, and that I do what he wants. So that's all psychological interpretation. But yeah, so he's angry when I say no. When I don't want me to, when I don't want to do what he wants, I say no, he's angry. So his angriness, it's not personal to me, it's just life.
It's angry.
Angry.
It's angry energy. It's going.
Same.
It's just angry energy going. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
saying no, and that has nothing to do with each other. And that seems so. We're so normal that it seems like this is because of that. There can
Yes.
be being angry or angry, the feeling angry, and then they're saying no. Oh, no. And then yeah, it's not and then because we're so used. That's the way
Yes.
maybe I am explaining it, but it's not and then. It's
No.
it's it's only one thing,
One
and
thing.
that's it. That's everything, and nothing is because of anything. But there
Mm-hmm.
can be an believing that or in that when that's going on. It's not wrong, but it's an interpretation. You could say that. If
Yes, it
you say
is.
that, yeah, and
Yeah.
that can be very can be feel like very real or very
Real.
yeah the truth
Yeah, yeah.
something like
The
that.
truth, the truth. So
But it
I
has
was,
nothing to do with that. It's just there can be that, and then when that and there can be it seems like reaction and da 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 that's going, and then they're sitting here and there's only this and there it didn't happen. It's just this.
yes,
So
I
there's nothing
believe.
to think about because we are sometimes you're also busy with oh what happened there and what did I
Yeah,
do and da 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 da.
yeah.
It didn't happen. It's just that and that's it. And
Oh,
they're
s-
sitting and nothing else is going on.
oh, it's
There's
a
no past.
yeah, so beautiful message. It's so liberating to
Oh,
see like that. Yeah, it's like the
yeah,
weather. The
yeah,
weather.
yeah. It's like the weather. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's suddenly it's raining, and it's not because of we want to understand and then maybe do something with that something. And that. But it's just suddenly it's raining. Yes, that's it. Not
Yeah,
for anyone. It's just rain. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's nice. Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
And the rain is not for somebody.
No,
It's just rain. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
yes,
That's the same as anger. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yes, 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 I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Mm,
Mm.
yeah. Oh, there's a chat. With looking for a job, I really don't know what I'm doing. It's more for earning money than I really want to work. Yeah, that's what we fill in. Yeah, it's just not, yeah, that's the strange. It's so different. When there's looking for a job, it can be like in the story looking for a job and maybe writing letters or emails or things like that. It's just that. And there's eating sandwich. And there's looking for a job because it's very convincing that we need money. So it seems like a whole story about that need to have a job because otherwise I have no money. And blah, blah, blah. It's not money that makes us safe or that it's what is, and that's very strange. And that it's not. It doesn't mean there is no story. There still can be living in the story, but nothing is causes anything. So when there's a feeling, or maybe going to a job interview, then that's going there. But it's much more literal. There's also no responsibility or things that depend on that. We're making a big story around, and that makes it more complicated and more important also when it doesn't do that. It's just what's happening, and there's no one doing that. There's no one doing that. It's just what's going on. There's nothing inside. And it's not about if you want to work there. Life isn't interested in what we or you want. It's not about what we think. We have a free will, and we have a free will to choose and do what we want. Life isn't interested in that. It's life, then it's going like that, and that's the way it is. It doesn't mean like accepting what is, because that's something else. It's still someone accepting. It's what's going on. So maybe there's a job interview and people say, yes, you can come. And you think, oh, I don't want to come. And still you're going. It's not about what you want. That's strange because we're so used that it's important what I want and I have to take care of myself. I have to do something. I have to look for myself and do what the best is for me and things like that. And then they're hearing this message that it's not about that. There's no free will or choice. It's what's going on. And maybe there's no one choosing. It's empty. Life is. It's not about a good feeling also. And that's the awful part in a way, seems to be like that. Like it's not about feeling good. This message is not about feeling good. It's everything. So it's about everything. And when there's a feeling of stress, then there's a feeling of stress. It's not because of anything, because that's what we think. When there's something like stress, then, oh, do I really do what I want? I have to, what do I want? And oh, I have to take care of that. It's a lot of stress to think to do that. It's a dream. There's no one. And feeling stress can happen. Anything can happen. There's no direction like I'm now on the right path or right doing the right thing for myself. That's that's very there's a lot of psychology about that and doing the things that for you. The strange thing is underneath there's suddenly always there's a feeling like there's something wrong. Do I do the right thing? Uh, I, I am not. I'm not good enough. That's something underneath. When there's need, there's underneath always something going on, and there's a drive to make it right, to do the right thing. What do I want? What is it? The strange thing is when that whole construct and that whole me and that survival system isn't there, then there's nothing going on about what do I want or going on, is this the right thing or that. It's there's nothing being busy with that. And that's just what's happening. It's not about Rose or somebody else. There's no Rose. There's no character. There seems to be a character because we see it in the story. That's just what's happening. That's just this face. There's no whole body. Just this face. That's it. Very literally. So there's also no story of Rose. It can be a memory. It's a dream. It's going nowhere. So it doesn't matter what is done. And there's doing maybe walking, or they're sitting in an area where there's doing things on the computer, watching television. It can be anything. That's what seems to happen. That's it. For no reason. Has no meaning at all. There's nothing going on. Like I have to survive, so I have to have a job and I have to earn money. It seems like money is really can be an issue. Like when there's no money, where does money? I don't know. And that we are so like, oh, when I don't work, I don't have money, and all those conclusions are there. It's a dream. There's only not knowing, and there's suddenly like this, and maybe there's doing, or there's not doing, or sitting in a house, or or sleeping on the street. I don't know. Anything can happen. And there's no one to take care of. That's you. There's also no story. There's only a story when there's me. There seems to be a story of my life and how it's going. What do I have to do and this is right and all that. It's the dream of me. There's no me. So there's no need for anything. There's just what seems to happen, and it's not even real. It's an appearance. So nothing matters. It isn't saying to yourself nothing matters, because that's something else. That's saying to me nothing matters. That's a way of new. It's a new concept. This is not about saying to yourself this is it or something like that. That's also a concept. Or understanding that there's no me. It has nothing to do with that. It's the loss of everything. It's the loss of all concepts and beliefs, identity. There's nothing left. And then suddenly, oh, it's everything. Oh, and that, but it's not about Rose sees everything now. No, uh, it's a loss of Rose too. There's no Rose. It's not about Rose. No, it's also the freedom. And this is also not a state of joy. It's it's not a state. It's everything. So there can be different feelings and melancholic or can be a subtle joy, but there's also can be everything. It's everything. That that that's it. It's everything, and that's already. There can be a looking for the. It's the looking. That's it. And there can be a lot of thoughts trying to understand, but the thoughting is it.
Rose,
Yeah. I.
hi. There's been a noticing that when there's feeling like someone here is listening to this message and like it can't, it doesn't get it. It just doesn't get it. There's just
No.
it's
No.
kind of humorous now, but it's kind of like you're speaking a language that's not understandable. If you're speaking a
Oh.
foreign language, and yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yet, there's something
Mm.
that draws, resonates, but it can't be. I noticed it cannot be understood,
Yeah.
and the someone here is really, really trying.
Yes, sure it is. Yes, sure it is.
Yeah,
That's the way we are used to do things. That's what we do, trying to understand and do something. Maybe if that's when I'm there's the understanding, then maybe something is happening or something like that.
and it
Yeah,
does feel like a habit. It does. That's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
feels like.
that's true.
A
Yeah, that's
habit of,
true.
yeah,
Mm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
so radical.
And in the same time, there's sitting, moving the head. It's so direct. It's so close. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a lot of movement. It feels like, of course, it's in the body, but there's just like energy moving and
Yeah.
less tightening around. There's just less tightening around it. So
Mm.
it's just,
Mm. Yeah.
and there's sometimes trying to figure that out, but then there's just more, it's just
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
the relief of, there's like somewhat of a relief of it doesn't have to be figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I guess it can't, not. There's a passage in your book I got, which I
Mm.
really love a lot. Talked about the working through feelings, about how that used to be working through difficulties and feelings, and
Mm.
somehow that
Mm.
would get closer. There was
Yeah.
really a lot of identification with that
Yeah.
someone, if there's
Yeah.
just an openness or whatever, and even the idea that that doesn't mean at all.
But that's when that's going on, then there's working through feelings. There's always somewhere it makes it wrong. Like what I'm doing now, that isn't it, and I can change that or can do something, and then it's more relaxed, and that's better. Or there's always something going on, like there's something not right yet, and that's confirming that complete all the time, confirming there's something wrong in a subtle way, and then it's a circle. It's an endless. And just that feeling, maybe there's some stress or I don't know, whatever can happen. That's it, and there's no need to do anything with that. It's just that, and it can be doing something, like going to the doctor, but then that's what's happening. It can't be not it. So working on it is also it, of course.
Mhm.
But the idea that there's going to be something better, that's the misunderstanding. It's endless. Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It's
endless.
much more, but it's so strong. There's something wrong. There's something not right, or that's that's so embodied. That's so wow. That can be so strong. I'm not good enough. Well, everybody seems to have something like that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. I want to ask you,
I can't hear you. There's something wrong with the sound. I don't hear you.
It's not real. Seems real. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you do your video off. Then it's sometimes the sound works better. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, I don't
You
hear anything.
can hear
Okay.
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. But
Yes?
then, yeah, but after that sentence,
No.
I don't hear anything.
Yes? You can hear me?
Maybe you do the when the video is off. Do the video off of our and it's only the sound.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I only hear that sentence. Can you hear me now?
Okay, that's the only one I said.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, go on.
Okay, I go on. What do you mean when you say that things are not real? How do you see them? That
Yeah,
they are not
I'm not
real.
seeing that.
You see,
I'm not seeing
you
that.
say
No. Yeah.
that energy,
Mm-hmm.
chuff, chuff.
It's when everything is lost, then suddenly you see like,
You mean
oh,
that you don't
it's not right. It's not. It's not
take
seeing with the eyes. It's not. It has nothing to do with seeing with the eyes or knowing. It's when it's a belief. Everything is real. That is a belief, and we are so convinced that it's so normal that it's not even questioned that everything is not real. It's just not questions. It's just sure. We are sure everything is real and solid, and you can feel it and experience it and explain it and nothing. And then so when that all those concepts are lost, the strange thing is then suddenly you see like, oh, it's not. It's not real. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything about life or something like that. Not in the sense that it's in that sense that it's different. But in another way, it's like nothing is real. It's also like there's nothing really happening. So nothing is important. And that's the whole construct about everything is real, I'm real, and you are real, and the bodies and the world is real, and we have to take care of that. And all those concepts when they fall away, it seems like, oh, but it's just a mirage. It's just energy going, and there's nothing. It's there's nothing happening. But when there's me, and there's this whole dream of me, and that whole construct, like I'm real, and I'm seeing everybody real, and my neighbor, and then it can be like, oh, there can be a hearing of that, but this can't be understood or seen. You can't make an image of that. Maybe it comes in somewhere, but you don't know, and that and you forget about it. It doesn't matter. And then suddenly maybe a moment can be there, like, oh, and then it's gone again. I don't know. But it's strange to hear that there's something going on, like we are so into a world of real things and everything. And then suddenly there's this message saying, no, not now, nothing is real. It's just a complete other possibility. Oh, and you can't do something with that. But it shakes the normal way of thinking, like, oh, there is another possibility, and maybe you don't believe it. That's I don't know. That's fine with me. But it's like, oh, there's something else, and that this message is about that. There's something else outside of the story, and then it can't be understood. So the normal way of where we used to deal with things, it can't be used in this. So that it's a complete loss of hold and understanding. And then this message is about childlikeness. It's not about knowing or being sure. And that so it shakes that concept. That's more what it's doing, nothing more. It's a suggestion, like there's something else, and oh, what's going on then?
Uh, yes, it's impossible to understand. So if I think that I'm aware of something, but I cannot prove the existence.
Well, you can't see, but when there's an awareness,
that is very.
Yeah. The sound is a bit tricky. When there's an awareness, me has an awareness. The awareness is part of that me, that whole me thing. And then when there's me, or the dream of me, and there's awareness, there's looking at yourself. And then when there's looking at yourself, then everything seems real. That's how it works. It's so convincing, or you're so raised in that. And then there's hearing this message and it has nothing to do with awareness. You don't need to see it like that. And when it's not clear, or when you don't see it like that, just forget it. Doesn't matter. It's just the hearing of this message, and then hearing of this, and you can't make an image of that. Maybe there's a hearing, and maybe not. But it's weird just to hear something that we normally we don't question that everything is real. And then suddenly there is something going on, like this. There's something else. Oh, oh.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with awareness of something.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because
awareness is part of the me. That's when the awareness is looking at yourself or looking at things. And when there's no me, when everything is lost, there's also no awareness. That's lost. There's no need for awareness.
Yeah. And when you say everything is one, it's the same as it's something very difficult to catch.
Yeah, and that's it. You can't. That's what the other lady also said. You can't get it, and that's what we normally. that's the only way there seems to how to deal with things, that we try to get it or try to understand or something. And this is a complete other message in a complete other way, you could say. And then it's not about understanding. It's the only thing what's doing is a suggestion for something else. It's shaking concepts, something like that. Like, oh, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's not that. Maybe. And then that's it.
Hopeless. Yeah, hopeless.
Yeah, concepts. There's so many beliefs and concepts. We don't know. You don't even know because it seems so the truth or normal, and then suddenly it seems like, oh my God, it's also concept. You don't need to see that. Sometimes concepts fall away, and you don't even. It's not even noticed. It can be like that. Doesn't matter. Sometimes it becomes a bit lighter. You don't even know why. Doesn't matter. It's like that.
Thank you.
Mm. There's also somebody saying, not real like last night's dream is not real. Yeah, it's not real in the sense that it seems like the table is like solid or the body is always there. But normally what you think, the body, I am here and I'm always there. The body is there always. My husband or my children are there. They're born and they're real and they're all the time there. Maybe I don't see them, but they are there. All that. No, it's not like that. That's it's a complete different way of to see things. That it's when it's when it's seen it, or heard or felt or that, then that's it. And we imagine that my child is at school and he will be back at 4 or something like that. It's a dream. There's no child. There can be suddenly a child in a house and then there's no child. It's not there. It's really like really little children. They can't abstract. So when there's somebody behind this chair, you're not there anymore. That's it. It's very childlike. It's also alive. Because that all those concepts that seems to be growing and beliefs like how to behave and what's the best thing and how things working. But it makes it also a bit like to be sure because we want to have things sure. We want to live in a safe world, in a known world, but it's also a bit dull. And that seems to be that whole aliveness, what seems to be there when they're really little children, that seems to be lost then. So there's something like looking for that innocence, like that aliveness or things like that. That's this. That's this message is about talking about that. But that has to do with a complete loss of the whole concepts and ideas and beliefs and the identity. Then there's someone that can be so solid and so real and so convincing and so embodied also. It's strange to hear nothing is real. Huh? Well, that's it. You don't have to believe it or prove it. Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hello. Hi.
Say nothing is happening, yet the appearance is happening.
Yeah.
There is an appearance.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So the appearance is empty, This is why we say nothing is happening.
There's nothing happening, and there seems to be also an appearance happening. Yeah, everything is empty too. It's nothing and everything together. Yeah, it's. How can you explain it? It's saying that, and in the same time, what is that? Yeah, it's everything's empty. Yeah.
So the appearance being empty is the
Oh.
nothing.
The nothing. That it's not.
No,
The nothing seems to be something. It's so
no,
difficult to
I don't.
explain it. It's not. It doesn't matter. But it's like it's just nothing. There's just nothing, and there seems to be something happening, like energy and moles and that. But it's an appearance. But in the same time, it's empty. It's nothing.
I'm just trying to understand what makes you call it nothing, or what's the quality that makes it nothing. The emptiness.
Quality.
The
But
emptiness.
there's just, yeah, it's empty. Yeah, it's emptiness. Let's say emptiness. Nothing. Silence. And there seems to be happening
Silence.
things
Okay.
like appearances and
Yeah.
hands and that. No, it doesn't. You don't need to know it. It's just that, and it's just coming like that. I don't know. It's not about Rose knows how it's all
Yeah.
about. No, it's just coming like that. Yeah.
Maybe I couldn't explain well my
Yeah.
my question.
Mm.
It's like if knowing falls away, the knowing part, then there is nothing.
Yeah.
Because
No, there's already
it's-
nothing. Doesn't need to fall away then, and then there's nothing. It's already
yes,
nothing.
yes, but there
The
is the
knowing is
illusion that
also
there is
nothing.
something.
Sorry, there?
Okay.
But it's when there's no knowing, there can be like suddenly like, oh, this is nothing. Oh, that can be like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Thanks.
You can't explain it or say something about it, but it's suddenly like, oh, yeah, like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm.
So the so the thoughts are the thoughts are also empty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's a little bit strange.
Yeah, you think they're so real and have meaning. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, an appearance and it's empty and seems very, very real and convincing. And your thoughts also. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah. Just life, thoughting or something. And it can happen when that's suddenly heard or somewhere, and not by you, but suddenly it's like, oh, it's empty. Then those thoughts seems not to be believed so much anymore. It can be so convincing and so strong and upsetting with thoughts and what's what is saying and what is thinking and trying to find answer or the best way, and that's by thoughting. It's just that it's an energy. It's empty. It has no meaning, no importance, and it's just that whole thing like, oh, this is really what am I thinking about, and getting a headache because there's so much going on. And it can be there. Then there's a headache. There's no content, no meaning involved. So that it's empty. It's just an appearance sorting or drinking coffee or walls. It's the same. And we think thoughts are really important. I can do it or whatever we think. It has nothing to do with what's going on. Yeah. And there's no one. So it's not you doing thoughts or I need not to think like that or things like that. It's not you thinking. It's just energy. This is not Rose talking. It's life. He is always looking for answers. And this meeting is nothing to get. There's nothing to get. That seems to be awful because we are sitting somewhere in this kind of meeting or in other meetings. Like there's something to get. We want to hear something that means anything or that we can do anything with that or makes it understanding or make my life a little bit more easy or more freedom or it gives anything. It helps in some way. And this message is no help at all. It doesn't give answers. It doesn't give anything. That's what most meetings or not about non-duality, but all those psychology and everything. It's about giving answers or trying to help or do something and giving. And there's what this message is about is that there's no one. There's no need for help. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's already complete. This what's going on is already complete as it is. It isn't like an image of perfection or how it should be. That's that's the dream. It's already complete. So there's no need for help. There's no need for answers. It's already what is happening. Is it? And it doesn't mean it is that it's like, oh, then that's the joy. Or when I feel that, that's okay. It's not okay. It's not about accepting. It's what it is. Can be feeling or can be biking behind a car, can be sitting in the sea. It can be anything. It's everything. It's everything, but that's not something special. It's already everything. It's just what it is. That's it. It's not very special in that in a way. It's just what it is, and that is it already. So there's also no need for this message to be there. It's just saying this is it. That's it, and it's not giving something. It's not making something happening. There's no need that there will be happening something. Waiting for something to happen is endless because it's not seeing that that's what's already going on. Is it? And that it is not something special or something like feeling free or a state of maybe happiness or something. It's everything, just normal everything. Not everything, and there are so many messages about that it's understood, and that's all capitals, like there's only nothing and there is the everything of everything, and it makes it like a bit abstract. This makes it very simple and very normal, like it's just everything. It's everything already, and there's nothing special about it because it's already what's going on. So there's no need to look for it because it's that what's going on. And what that whole dream or that me does is that the making something else of it. There's something happening and there's jumping on it and like, what is that? Oh, I don't feel good about that. Oh, what shall I do about this? And that whole construct that seems to be very important. It's your thoughts, that's it. It's nothing more than that. But it seems like that's the way we live our lives and we can deal with things. And it has no importance at all. It's just making it in a certain cloud or dream. And it's just what it is. Moving the hand. Very simple and normal. Like just like little children moving, not having responsibility or take care of or anything like that. It's even not feeling alone. It's already making a story of that what's going on. That's just sitting. That's just sitting that can be there. And that's it. And it's so normal and so simple and so And the strange thing is, when that all those concepts are lost and that seems like, oh my God, I want that lost or something like that. And in the same time, there's something going on like hanging on to things because you want something for yourself. It's so embodied because that's underneath that there's always something, there's not something right. So I want to feel more, yeah, together or seen or um, that there's somebody that I'm seeing like someone that is is respected or something like that. There's always a subtle something going on that there seems to be a need or something. And that's the construct and that's the whole me. And it doesn't matter when that's going on, that's going on. But it's life. It's not you doing that. It's just life. That's already. So there can be all kind of structures going on or a certain behavior, what's repeating itself. Then that's what's happening. It's life, it's that body and that's moving in that way, or maybe talking in that way. So it's life. There's no one inside. It's not you doing that. It's what's happening. It's empty. Everything is empty. It's just what's going on and what seems to happen. Going nowhere. It's just what is, and then there's something else, and there's something else, and seems like circumstances and maybe information or news, or it's just that. It's nothing more. It has no meaning. It's just what it is. That's it. Very, very normal. Very, yeah. Can't even say how it is. It's just what it is. That's the simplicity of this message. It's what it is, and it's already, and it's also complete. It's already complete. That doesn't mean it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't mean that there's something. Oh, how can I say it? It's there's no need for anything. There's no need for anything. There's no need to understand. There's no need to lose the me. There's no need for anything. What seems to still has to happen. But that's underneath, and that's so a misunderstanding that there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong. That's that's the joy. There's nothing wrong. There's just what's happening. And when that's like anger, then there's anger. And that's it. It's not you doing that. It's life in that energy. It's that. And it seems why, because there's so much, like there's bodies and we see it like the border is this is a person and that's a person. So it seems like all different persons with personalities and someone inside, and we have to deal with that and there's circumstances. Nothing is real. It's empty. It's only an appearance and it's going like all energy and it's chaotic. It's chaotic. There's not no in that you could say there's no logic inside. We try to find a logic and trying to find how to deal with that or what's the best way, and then it's suddenly going another way. We don't know. We don't know. There's only not knowing, but not with a capital. There's just not knowing. It's going and oh, I don't know why. I don't know how or whatever. It's going on. It's not about me. That can be a feeling, and then that's it. And it seems like it's happening in the body because we're so used that everything's going on in the body. The body isn't the border. Here, this is not the border. It's seen like because it's seen like with the eyes that there's green and there's something else. There's no border. It's energy. It's all different energy. It's all the same, but it seems like different. And it's one. It's one energy. It's just one. And it seems like all different forms and shapes and bodies and feelings and thoughts. And it's empty. It's It's empty, but it's empty and full together. It's also full, like happening things, energy, a fist, something. It's just that. Without any meaning. It's just this. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.